them to make one piece of gear to wear. And so just for Raiden, there was probably 3 or 4 of us running around just collecting this one thing, doing the same thing over and over all day just to get one piece. So you spend a lot of time doing little things. So you just don't have time to do anything important.
Jordan, how about you, man? How did it affect your relationship with God, being in the online world?
Well, we pretty much don't have a relationship. If you get to prayer and read your Bible, pretty much don't do that at all.
Is it like it becomes a religion or something?
Yeah. It really does sound like you know that year when me and you both met at Big Camp, we were both on fire. Like, we just had come really on fire that year. It wasn't long after, I think it was a year after that, where I actually got introduced to the game. And that year, the next 2 years of my life, it was all about the game. I completely forgot about, you know, Christianity. Well, you know, who needs that? I only go there just to see friends, you know, and talk about the game, you know, and so it really does destroy your relationship that you had with God at the time. If you've got a relationship before, and like as I was saying, it just really is so time consuming that if you don't have a relationship, you're not going to make time for it anyway.
Well, you find when you're talking too, like there's a lot of people in the church that still play the game. There's a lot, and you meet them on the game when you're playing, and you know, you just find that the topic of conversation, because it's something you do all the time. Whenever you talk, that's what comes out. And I found when I stopped playing, to try and have a conversation with Raiden or my friends that were still playing, it was nearly impossible to not talk about that game, because that's all they're doing all the time, so that's all they're thinking about, so that's what's coming out when they're talking. You know, I find when you talk to someone who is really on fire for God and reads their Bible a lot, that's what they talk about a lot. So it's what's filling your mind, what's consuming you is what comes out as well. So.
Yeah, another point on the consuming thing. When I used to play the game like really hardcore into it, all I'd think about all day is playing the game. What I'm going to do when I get home to play the game. Like, I'd be sitting at work doing my work, thinking about the game. That's all I could think about was the game. I couldn't think about anything else. I just wanted to get home, play the game. That was my life. The only reason I went to work was to pay for the game. It's the only reason I went, because the game you have to pay per month to play, because you've got constant updates happening. So is
it a good life?
Oh look, man, for me it's still hard not to play it. It has the attraction there because I've been playing it so long. Yeah, I'd definitely say I'm addicted to the game. So I've got to avoid anything to do with it. Yeah, it's pretty hard.
Is it the happy life, like to be in it?
We had a lot of fun.
To start with, you have a lot of fun, but then when you get on the outside of it and you stop playing, like I only stopped playing because these guys stopped playing. I just got bored of it because I did it to hang out with my brothers over the internet, you know. I get to hang out with them, whatever, you know. So I'd do that, hang out with mates and that. But then they stopped playing because they got convicted.
Parents.
Yeah, mum and dad told him that he wasn't allowed to play it anymore because they didn't like the game.
I found it affected my relationships with friends and with my girlfriend mostly. You spend more time doing that than you do anything else. So, you know, it affects everything.
And another point on the game, the only way to be good at the game is to invest a lot of time in it. If you only play it a little bit here and there, you never end up getting anywhere. Sure. So the only way to get somewhere is to sit there consistently for a long period of time. So the guys that are better in the game sit there all day. That's all they do.
Like, obviously you guys got out of it, so you obviously, you know, found something missing and you weren't happy. Yeah, or am I wrong? Was it?
Yeah, for me, I had to trigger something happen in my life that made me realise, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. This is, you know, it's taking up too much of my time, and I've seen other people who still are playing it and how it affects them, you know. So
it does affect people.
Oh, there's a website, you can look it up on the internet. It's Widows of Warcraft. There's so many divorces and women that have gotten sick of their husbands playing and left them because of the game, and the husbands still play the game. So you know, it's something that's, I think, really overlooked that people just don't think about.
It really makes people detached from their own life. Pulls them. They get so consumed with how good they are in the game that they just get sick of their own life. You know, and yeah, it's quite shocking. Like, a lot of people, there's been a couple of instances in Asia where people have died from playing the game.
They didn't eat, they didn't do anything, they just sat there playing the game and they just fell over and died.
Fatigue, they just died.
had some time off from the game.
Yeah, I think
we went
that
away
really
for a
did
month
affect.
and we didn't have video games or anything like that. So
yeah, it really did affect. Like, I mean, I've been into a lot of different things. Like when I, as I was saying before, when I got into movies, it wasn't just that. I also got into clubbing and drugs, like fairly heavily as well, just to try and fill the hole that I had because I wasn't doing the game anymore. Well, I got to do something else, and I don't know. It still didn't even seem to fill the hole properly. You know, it never does. Like, you can say for yourself, you know, you've been there, and that kind of thing just doesn't fill the hole that you have, and. I don't know, like I just remember I was talking, got an email from a friend of mine, and she was just telling me how she was witnessing to some people at a TAFE and that, and it really just kindled up a flame inside me, like just reading about her witnessing to someone else, you know, and that really got me going. And then I was like, man, I remember what that feels like to be like that, on fire, and I was like, man, I want that back. And so that really actually gave me a passion to want to read more in the scripture, which has been pretty good because I hate reading. And so, you know, having a passion to want to read, yeah, that's really good, you know, so, yeah.
Wow, I'm so excited about what God is doing in you guys' lives. And, I mean, what do you got to say on that? Is God the answer, you know? Is he a big part of what you boys want to pursue in life?
Definitely.
yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Mission work's what I want to do, and it's something that I think is the most important thing to be doing with my time. You know, I could play WoW until I was 80, but then what would I have achieved in my life?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And why mission work? Why would you want to work for God? What's the point in doing that?
Get out there, get in it,
Get
involved, you know?
Yeah.
Be active about it, you know? Don't just say you're a Christian, get out there and actually be a Christian.
Yeah.
That's what mission work's all about.
Help others.
Say that again.
Help others that are in need.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with the games, another real big issue with games, not just this game, but every game in particular, like if you ask Jordan about his friends and stuff that he has, all of them are just addicted to video games. A lot of young kids today, all they do is play video games, and it really is stealing their life. They're not living. You know, they're just sitting there playing the game, and it's almost a depressive cycle. You start playing the game, and I found when I played the game, I actually put on a lot of weight because I was just sitting there eating, wasn't doing anything, wasn't sleeping right. So I found I put on a lot of weight, and when I put on a lot of weight, you get more depressed with yourself. So you play the game more to make yourself feel better. So then you end up spending more time playing, and it's almost like a really depressive cycle that you get stuck in, and then it's really hard to break out of.
And you also lose your personal sort of relations between, like, skills with talking to other people. You know, because you're so used to typing and not talking to people. When you actually stand around you talk to someone who just plays video games all day. They don't really know how to react to you. You know, so
Wow.
Takes them out of reality, for real. Like they're just not there.
What do you guys got to say to those out there that are having problems with their addiction with the gaming? I mean, what do you got to say to these guys?
you need to spend more time away from the game doing other things that you find interesting. I found for me, getting out of the game and trying to go cold turkey doing nothing was really hard because it took up so much of my time. When I went and took it out of my life, I had nothing to do. And when you got nothing to do, you find yourself going back to things that you used to do. So you've got to fill yourself up with something else to try and get out of it. So
yeah, for sure.
Something more wholesome.
Yeah, like just to fill in your time. Like when I stopped playing, I got a bit sick of playing the game because I didn't play with my brothers, so I just got a bit sick of it. I got a bit over it, so I stopped playing for a little while. And then I started watching a lot of movies, started doing a lot of other different things, trying to fill my time. And I had a bit of a hole there. And I really feel now that I do a fair bit of Bible study now, which just really helps me with my time, filling it with something more wholesome, something a lot better. You know, and like we just got out, we've been going to the gym. That's helped a lot too, like just getting out and getting active, that really does a lot. You know, you find that you almost find the game really pathetic when you look at it now. Like,
it sounds like you're really getting back into the real world and into real life.
Yeah, but at the time when you actually try and stop playing the game, you don't know what to do. You really don't. Like, all your friends are still playing it, and you're sitting at home, you know, twiddling your fingers. You don't know what to do with yourself. So,
wow. Hey, and yeah, amazing. Like you guys, like out of the game, back into real life, and like like nurturing your spiritual life, your physical body's getting out instead of like, you know, just kind of shrinking away as you're playing on the game, getting into the gym and just getting active. And like, how awesome is that? Good to see young guys, 3 brothers, actually just giving up something that was addictive and giving their hearts to God. Yeah. Like 3, how common is that, you know? And there's another brother that's not here, should be here, and that's Brad. And he's in between you two. Yeah, that's the 4 of you. Yeah. And he's Bible working now. Yeah. And you boys are doing this thing with Zambia and just getting into Bible studies and encouraging each other. Like the fact that you boys got out and then you wanted to get out once they got out.
That was the main encouragement, yeah, for me to pull out.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was them. Well, they stopped playing, and that kind of makes you just go, I played to just sort of hang out with my brothers because I didn't get to see them all the time. Yeah. You know, and when they stopped playing, it kind of made me just sort of lose interest for a fair bit. You
got to realise that's an influence too, you know, like I started playing and my brothers wanted to play, you know, and then when you stop playing, they sort of follow. So if you're worried about, you know, friends or family might still play and you won't have anything to do with them, you could very well influence them to pull out of the game as well.
Yeah. And how do you feel about the fact that you got these guys into it?
No, I mean, you know, I don't feel good about it at all. Yeah. But I'm glad they're out. So. Yeah. But that's 2 years of their life wasted playing a video game.
Yeah. But that's something that you're forgiven of.
Yeah. Yeah.
For young guys, man, there's got to be competition, rivalry, hatred, but like, look at you guys all together hanging out.
Yeah, no, when we were younger, it was like that. You know, once you get older, you sort of, you know, we're like best mates. There's my brothers, pretty much. So.
Well, you spend a lot of time with your brothers. You know, like you'd have the same with your brother. Like a lot of your memories are with your brother, not with your friends. It's with your brother. You know, because you're growing up together. It's all you know. Every time you go on camping with the family, it's your brothers you hang out with. You know, not your friends. Yeah. You know, so it kind of brings a fair bit of closeness there. You know, so.
You're the youngest brother, and you've got these other big brothers. I mean, have they kind of influenced the decisions you've ever made in life?
Yeah, I look up to them and do what they do, pretty much.
So it's important as older brothers to make sure your effect you're having on your little brothers is a positive one. You know. And when I was playing, I wasn't really thinking about that. You know, I just thought, oh, this is cool, you guys should have a look at it. And they're like, oh yeah, cool, and started playing it. You know, it wasn't like...
I actually bought a computer because of the game. I never wanted a computer before the game, and then when I started getting sort of into the game, I thought, oh, I should buy a computer, so I went and got a computer just to play the game. It's the only reason why I bought one. You know, it's a bit over the top.
Wow, amazing guys. Thank you so much for your insights, hey. Thank you guys so much, and I just looking forward to seeing what new things God is going to do in your lives, and then God filling that part which the game was trying to fill. That I think maybe that part of us that wants to be a man and to be someone that's a protector, someone that can provide, somebody that also can stand up to battle. I mean, that's part of us and our masculinity, like we're men of war. And you know, God also has that fierce side to him. Not that he's like full of wrath against us, but he's full of wrath against sin. Like he is a true soldier and a warrior. And like I really feel like God can give us that sense of being a man and fully restore us and give us that thing that we've been craving and longing for.
Yeah, fighting for something that's worthwhile, not, you know, something that doesn't end up doing anything. Make a difference, you know.
Fighting for souls in real life, you know. Be a warrior in real life, you know. Like this game, you're playing it because you want to be a warrior, but in real life, a real warrior goes out and saves other people's lives. A real hero saves others' lives, and to save others' lives, we need to point them towards Jesus, you know. And doing that, you know, that's the best warrior you can be.
Exactly.
You know?